Hello.
Strong start.
And welcome back to Engines and Unfinished Business. We hope you've had a good year. We have.
It's been mostly good, mostly ups. So we moved house.
Yeah.
This is the house into which we moved. Misty did move house, but not to this house. She went to my parents', which I think I said before, because there was no space for her here currently. And I have been tinkering when I had a chance to get to my parents' house, which isn't too far away. Trying to get the timing system all buttoned up so we can bleed the cooling system and get her going again.
The first bit of tinkering I did was to clean up and paint some engine parts. This not only made them look great, but also helped motivate me to move on to the daunting task of redoing the timing belt with the engine still in the car. With that motivation and the help of my dad, we were able to get the timing system sorted. Even with the extra pair of hands, doing the timing belt without removing the engine was a massive pain in the arse, especially getting the tensioner in. With everything timed correctly, we were ready to once again try and bleed the cooling system, which needs level ground, so I borrowed my parents' garage for the day. Here's where Misty had been sitting for nearly a year. Sorry about the dead grass, guys. With the coolant topped up, the bleeders open, the heater set to hot, and no signs of leaks, it was time to see if she'd start. Not great. She not happy? Why not? It was at this point I looked behind me and realised Misty was on fire, or at least that's how it seemed at the time. The entire back half of the garage was filled with thick smoke. Thankfully, nothing was actually on fire and the smoke was clearing. It turned out the smoke was electrical and entirely my fault. I hadn't tightened one of the bolts on the main earth strap that goes from the gearbox to the chassis. This meant the starter motor was trying to draw over 100 amps through a much smaller wire designed for maybe 30 amps at most. This caused the wire to heat up enough to completely melt the insulation, filling the garage with burning plastic smoke. And this was particularly annoying as I used to have a spare one of these earth straps that came with our replacement gearbox, but I threw it out when we moved house, thinking I'd never need it. As I was unable to find a used one or replacement anywhere for sale, I decided to make my own.
So this is main earth strap from engine to body. And this is an extra little one, which I inadvertently put all the power through because this one wasn't strapped down properly. So now I'm going to remake this without this connection because I'm not entirely sure what it's there for. That feels pretty good. Now actually I'm going to put some heat shrink over these as well, only because I don't like the yellow. Yeah, that's good and tight. And there we have one replacement earth cable. Pretty happy with that. Just going to reattach it to the main one, and then I can go back in the car and we can try this all over again.
Oh yeah! Ah, nearly. Let's try again. Yeah. Wow. Have you got oil pressure? The engine was now running well, but a patch of oil had appeared on the ground below the car, which seemed to be coming from the cam cover. Worse still, to my untrained eye, the oil on the ground looked a little milky, like it was maybe mixed with coolant. I had a look under the oil filler cap. It all looked fine, but that wasn't enough to convince me. I decided to take the cam cover off and see what was going on. Under the cam cover, my worst fears were confirmed. An abundance of milky oil. It appears Misty's head gasket has decided to fail.
So, Misty, not so good. Head gasket appears to have gone. I decided when my dad and I were struggling with the timing system on his driveway in the car, that if I had to do anything else in that area of the engine again, I would wait till I could get the engine out, because it's just too difficult. So it's going to be on hold until we can get her into a workshop somewhere, get the engine out, do the head gasket, redo everything else. This is Monkey. He's a good boy. In sad news, we lost his sister.
Yeah.
She succumbed to some horrible cancer very quickly at only 7 years old. That was a low point of the last year, but he's doing all right. He's a trooper. Oh.
Yeah.
So I got distracted by cats.
Is there anything else to say?
I think that's probably it. I'm just gonna sit here and stroke your pussy.
Yeah. Not too hard.
You're a sensitive boy.
He is. Yeah. So, goodbye.
Yeah. Bye. Say goodbye, Monkey.
Goodbye.